On top of this, hey, welcome back to the Alexandrian Codex. I'm Alex. This is Stellaris, Star Trek New Horizons mod. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. I don't remember what's going on at all. We are playing as the Federation. I think I was plotting to attack the Orion Free States down here. There's been a couple of updates small updates since we were playing, but I don't think any of them will be game-breaking. But frankly, I don't know. The Pious Taro Order. Who the fuck are the Taro Order? Who this? Pious Taro Order. Pious? Oh. Oh, you're a protectorate. I don't remember you very well, but I'm assuming this was on purpose. Epsilon Indy, yeah, it seems like it. Taro. You're xenophobic. Pacifist? Spiritualist pacifists. Gross. Okay, well, but you give us influence, which I like. So we have construction ships building down this way. Oh, and I'm like, I seem to be gunning for these systems with primitive civilization so I can be getting more influence. That's not a terrible idea, actually. We have about way more minerals and energy than I should be hoarding at any point. Our energy income is high enough to afford any upgrades. I think we might be done with Mars. Well, it says fully terraformed, but we don't have the the institute, the cool science facility there, so maybe not yet. Okay, so you're cool and all, but go over here, because this seems much more productive. Is this a fucking... Oh, I thought this was a Talaxu. Looks very similar. Toombader. Okay. So, one thing I didn't do, that I've occasionally done on my off-stream off-stream saves was what I was going to say, was just colonizing everything in sight, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but it's kind of wasteful, truth be told, at this point in the game. What are ships like? Right, so I have construction, which is a construction variant. This is one annoying thing. The auto designer being on by default, I kind of hate. But, you know, c'est la vie. There are worse things in the world. Okay, nothing. Okay. So let's get construction ship out of you, and that'll be good.
The Empire won't fall to those vermin!
Oh. Okay. Well, fair enough. The Klingons, I've noticed, in recent builds, haven't done too great. The Klingons used to expand and eat up the Gorn, like, immediately, and the Suliban soon after, but now in all of my offline games, have never seen the Klingons expand. They always just kind of get surrounded, because they start out bordering the Metron Consortium, which are a fallen empire, and the border friction here makes them just keep insulting them and making demands on the Klingons over and over and over because of their ideological differences, like militarist, authoritarian, spiritualist versus pacifist, fanatic, materialist. Their relationship doesn't sit very positively, which is kind of awkward because the Klingons are supposed to rise up to be the major power here in the Beta Quadrant, and you're supposed to be a major power over here in the Alpha Quadrant, and it doesn't quite work that way. Oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of, here's the Daystrom Institute. I was right. We don't have the Daystrom Institute yet, but now we do. Let's drag you over there. In dozens of years, this new shiny research facility will no longer be the Carl Sagan Institute of Technology. Richard Daystrom, in all of his dazzling, maddening, brilliant glory, will reshape the galaxy and acquire the name for himself. But well before that, the venerable annex will already be a bastion of research and academia. Inspired by the pioneering spirit of old and the flood of material investment from Earth, the local Martians have decided they must be able to rival Earth not only in industry, but in their contribution to mankind as well. This vision lasted into the future, making Mars one of the most respected scientific institutes in the galaxy.
Technology discovered.
Dope. Alright, very static atmospheric filters. To remove pollutants from the atmosphere of our worlds, we have theorized a barystatic atmospheric filter, functioning by projecting negatively charged ions into the stratosphere, which are then transferred their charge to atmospheric pollutions. Which then transfer their charge to atmospheric pollutants. The then charged pollutants are collected by positively charged intake vents of the barystatic filter. That grammar. This could be nice. We're not really having... I guess we'll go for space combat doctrines. What?
We are ready.
Your superior... I forget what difficulty this is on. Your superior... Hell, even your superior? Okay, yeah, more ships wouldn't...
The Empire won't fall to those...
wouldn't be a misstep then. Hey, you want an association? Didn't I call the Federation the totally not the Federation? I probably did, and then it fell apart because of a lack of members. That's totally fine. True, are you actually in our coalition? Why not? Opinion too low, distance too far. Why don't I just give you... this? There. Opinion plus 20. Okay. It's just... Hey, you like energy? Okay. Maybe not. I could bribe you. It's so close. Yeah, you would happily associate.
Technology discovered.
I don't know if you can get that high modifier higher than 20. Power drilling. Assorted drilling techniques can be developed to access parts of a planet, asteroid, etc. that would otherwise be inaccessible. Planet, asteroid, or other stellar body, maybe, that would otherwise be inaccessible due to thermal, geological, or safety considerations. Form-fitting force fields is cool. Am I gonna use an afterburner? No. Well, no, because my science ships already have something of that slot, and the construction ships don't either. So let's go for Initium torpedoes. Alright, what have I got here? I have 5 Jevonite. Okay, I can afford to let one of these go. It just gives happiness. That'll give you plus 10. Get my coalition. Thank you. Stellaris, how far out are you? Negative 22. Distance is a major issue. Relative power. I really need to build up my fleet, huh? Or upgrade my fleet. What do we have? Still the Enterprise. How much to upgrade this? Might as well, Neptune-class patrol frigates. I should really consider switching over to... Oh, I don't have cruisers. Well, I was going to say destroyers, but maybe cruisers in the future after that. Right now, we're rocking cannons. We could switch over to using a gunboat, which would have dedicated phaser turrets. Now, these do an average of 2.05 damage per second. Average damage is 1.5 damage per second. Or, sorry. The cooldown's 2.5 seconds. 2.05 seconds. Average damage 1.56 per second. So 1.56 times 5 versus 3.64 times 2. So 3.64 times 2 is going to be higher than 1.56 times 5. So I think keeping the full pulse phase cannons and whatever torpedo we're running is better than a bunch of phase turrets plus whatever. Phaser turrets are good against shields, not against hull. Our phase cannon is really good against shields, penetrate shields, less against hull. So I think keeping this in the configuration we're already rocking should be the way to go. 6.03, 6.86. Yep, pulse wave torpedoes are still the best way to go here. Nothing really revolutionary with armor plating. I think I'm just trying to stack on evasion was my general strategy before. Probably. That sounds like me. Yeah, okay. For the sake of raising our fleet strength, I'll go ahead and raise that. Once this tech is done, we can expand our fleet pretty significantly. Cardassian Unionist closer borders. Kelpian Duchy. Well, your distance is a major factor. Fair enough. Improvements in subspace communication channels allow for more coherent administrative direction. Minus 5% starbase influence cost is huge. I mean, it's not that big, but it's pretty significant. Tracking bonus would be cool. Gravitic sensor array. Let's go for shields. I'm not going to use them, but they are cool. Alright. Wow, I had a couple ships just hanging out over here, huh? This is more or less surveyed. I should survey in here, just to close up the border with the Romulans here. Eventually, I'm probably going to have to... Well, this is going to take a while. Let's go ahead and explore these last 4 or 5 systems down here, but I'm not going to be moving up into here. Yeah, that makes sense. So where are you? Tau Hydra? Regulus, so you're gonna go there. Tigris. Alright, I would love to get you in our Federation, but that's not gonna happen. I'd like to move south and start cutting this bullshit off, but that's not gonna happen. What's our piracy risk? I actually have that at 0%. Good job, Alex. That's not easy to do. Let's just immediately throw that away by expanding here a little bit. Yeah, the Shiliak, we have not met them. They tend to expand into this area. They start out up here, north of the First Federation. The Romulans tend to blob very slowly. The Orion Free States either, like, don't expand at all or blob like crazy. I'm actually happier to see them blob over the Temerian Unity because the Temerians I tend to be more afraid of. The Orions are pretty easy to take out. Cardassia's not expanding.
Survey complete.
Bajor's not expanding. Let's get a migration treaty. What are we doing with the Antedians? Yeah, okay. Tholians. Truth be told, I think the Tholians are probably my favorite Star Trek race, just because they give, like, no fucks about anything.
Rule of acquisition number 34. War is good for business.
If that sounded loud to you, that's because it is loud. That specific audio file, all of the Ferengi audio files are, like, notably boosted over all the other files in this mod. A little weird. The Ferengi you can get associated very easily as a Federation. It doesn't hurt. I guess you could probably convince them to join the Federation. I've never played that long. Normal Stellaris has some,
The Empire won't fall to those vermin!
mid to late game performance issues, let's say, to put it nicely, but New Horizons gets that problem magnified pretty significantly. Hell yeah. Okay, I am gonna wrap up Federation. We're gonna Starfleet Medical, arising from the need to understand different species' biological functions. Starfleet Medical has physicians and researchers from all over the Federation, each putting their own strengths towards improving medical health across the Federation. Unlocks access to diplomatic quarters and humanitarian aid ship modules. Don't know what those are, but getting all of the Federation allows the reduces the building cost by 10%. Reduces the building cost. Not reduces building cost, reduces the building cost. Okay, more importantly, we get an Ascension slot, so what do I want to do for that? This. Interstellar Dominion. It seems like a weird thing to get, but this reduces starbase influence cost by 20%. Influence is a very limited resource, and there are a lot of stars for us to grab up, so Interstellar Dominion sounds good to me. I mean, let's look at our options. Subject integration cost? No. Edict duration? Core sector systems? Eventually, but not right now. Governing ethics attraction? Unity output? This is actually good, but once you get all your traditions, it's not actually useful anymore, and you can't replace Ascension perks, so mind over matter. Not great. It's not the best long-term investment. Technological ascendancy is actually what I normally pick first, because research speed, I normally go discovery and then technological ascendancy. Galactic contender is fine. Starbase expansion, one more starbase building is actually pretty good. Space fortress, Grass the Void, defense platforms, which are cool but like way expensive in this mod. Grass the Void gives us starbase capacity, which will be good for keeping down piracy later on. Better starbases, everyone likes us more. This is actually really good for growing the Federation quickly, but it's kind of a toss-up. If I can get more starbases and expand our borders, then I'll be close enough and they'll like me because I'm close enough and be more likely to join the Federation. Or I go with Diplomatic Corps and they can be further away but still join the Federation because they like me enough. The benefits of having more systems kind of outweighs the benefits of people liking us. Fleet command limit, our support limit, naval capacity isn't even high enough to make good use of this. Warp sensors, nah. World Shaper, we aren't terraforming anything, so again, Interstellar Dominion. The stars beckon and we follow. May nothing stand between us and them. Dope. I had a thought. Oh yeah, okay. So, one mistake I've made. Unimproved stations get a facility slot, and in that facility slot you should build traffic control stations. It still has the wrong description in here. It's not a snare anymore. That's a work in progress text, the stuff in yellow. The sublight speed bonus is fucking amazing, and especially as you get larger and larger systems, or more and more territories. Get larger and larger territory, more and more systems. I got that backwards. It is a huge, huge quality of life thing just to build these fucking everywhere. Because most of the travel between systems does take place, jumping between A and B. But say it arrives in Epsilon Eridani, it'll be over here, then have to fly over here to jump out of the system. And if you can make that go by even a tiny bit faster, oh my god, that is so nice. It's not super pronounced this early on, but later on is you start getting dozens of systems, it starts becoming quite noticeable. I kind of wish there was a way to easily and effectively do this, rather than just going in, clicking one at a time, and not having a clear indication of what systems do have upgraded stations and what ones don't, but that's a limitation to the game. So I think that we have everything on this side of Sirius. Did I get Pajem? I could have checked that. No, I didn't get Pajem. Capitan Star, yeah. Eddie Wellness, Pajem, Sirius, I think I did. Yeah, I'm serious. Wolf 359. Alright, cool. Wolf 359 is done. Let's do Ursa Majoris, both of these. I can only afford 6 more of these, so I'll not be able to improve all of our systems. Let's get Capella, because it's way down here, and I don't know. It just sticks out enough. Tau Ceti, Epsilon Eridani, and we'll call it there. Because I can imagine a line going here, separating what has been improved versus what hasn't been improved, and that's easy for me to remember. Anything west of Epsilon Iridani has not been improved. Hudis, where you at? Alright, we're not going up into this bubble. There's nothing worth our time up there. Instead, I'm gonna redirect you this way. Yeah. Right. So we're not ascending anyone right now. Do I want Beta Z, Trill, Caridians? Where? Caridians. I don't. So the Taros are here. Are the Caridians? This is the Nobulans. This is Tellarites. This is. Is it the Caridian Council? No. God, there's so many minor species enabled with this mod right now. Yeah, you're my protectorate. I don't want to incorporate you. But Betazoids, sure, let's get them. Low intensity, medium intensity, high intensity. Because I'm planning on expanding a lot right now, I don't want to spend influence, so let's just do low intensity. Hell yeah.
Technology discovered.
Cool. Space research, space combat doctrines. Gradual adaptation to the realities of deep space combat allow us to effectively coordinate larger maneuvers. As it vary all of the noun or vowels in maneuver. It's a hell of a word. Coordrazine. Our population growth speed isn't that important to me right now, but it's not a bad thing to look into. So now our fleet capacity is pretty dope. Oh god, this is... What did I do in here? Delete that. Delete that. Go ahead, delete that. Get rid of that. Okay, much better. Just click on that button. Cool, we're not going to do that immediately. Let's get both of the Cassiopeia systems to have traffic control. Traffic control have a hotkey? No. Well, it'd be nice if it did. Okay. Kelpians don't care much about. It's odd. As of Discovery, the Kelpian duchies are part of the Federation. But they're way the fuck down here, so you have to go through the Orion Free States to make that happen. This is a bit odd. And do I want to spend energy on anything? Educational reforms? Ecological campaign? You know, actually, sure. Because that'll give us a tiny bit more minerals to dick around with. But I don't think I have anything else to do with energy. Nah. So, core... Yeah. So now, all of this is neatly improved. So let's go ahead and get Groombridge. So like the least sexy thing to spend minerals on. Make things go slightly faster. The improved sublight speed in system is a nice offset to the performance hit that playing this mod gives, but it still ends up playing slower. Initium torpedoes and Initium. Early torpedo research has led our research down. Early research has led our research. That's not good writing. Early torpedo research has led our whatever down the path of an Ancium torpedo. God, that sentence could really be rephrased. Ancium is a material which, together with a Urium catalyst, can be used as an explosive by creating a massive energy release, which is theoretically strong enough to disrupt subspace rifts. Man, that was a roller coaster of a descriptor. So cool, new torpedoes. I'm fairly sure they're still not better than what we're rocking right now. Can't use them. Odd. Is it a limitation to... No, I just don't have them. Alright. Quite odd. Maybe it was an upgrade to one of our existing torpedo sets.
Construction complete.
I should have paid closer attention. Alright, Starbase is done in Alpha Centauri. Fantastic. Let's have you just build all the things. And I should hold off on upgrading because Wolf 424 is going to finish soon, as well as this. You're going here, right? Yeah. And this. Man, I really was urgently going for these primitive systems.
Construction
Presumably because I think the Ferengi got 1 and I freaked out a little bit. Also because they give influence, so yeah, it's not a bad investment. Alright. Hunting outpost, observation outpost.
Rule of acquisition number 34. War is good for business.
Wow, war philosophy forbids war of aggression, -50. But our relationship should be improving slowly over time as trust goes up. What is our trust
Rule
at?
of acquisition number...
Horrible. Our trust is horrible. So, Ferengi are a very, very long-term prospect. Binars are interesting, but they're too far away. Unless we snake through here to integrate them properly into the Federation. You all are still dicks, right? Yeah, sometimes they end up having a civil war, the Zindi, which can be helpful. Okay, cool.
Construction complete.
Dope. Mining and observation. Alright, cool.
Initiating communications.
Don't I have... I'll check that communication. Don't I have native enlightenment? Oh, I have it enabled. So okay. I have that enabled, so we can benefit from influence of having protectorates. But if I had it disabled, the oh god, Gatilili Society would be happier with me, which would be producing more influence. Not enough. I think it's still worth having it on active. Alright, why are you unhappy? Traditional diplomacy. I can do that for you. Free education, universal healthcare. Do you care about education or healthcare? Nah. Alright, free education and universal healthcare. Let's go ahead and do that. So education policies currently privatize education. Every school and university will give us additional energy. If I switch it over to high education or free higher education, it gives us prosperity, which is a resource I don't really take good advantage of, but that's okay. Currently we have university hospitals, so they give us society research, which is quite good. Instead, I'm going to switch over to free medical access, give us more prosperity, which again is something I don't make good use of, but now we're getting a tiny amount of influence from this group. Which is, well, 0.8 a month isn't really all that tiny. Doesn't seem like much, but I'd really love to see an expansion of the faction system or internal affairs in Stellaris. It's one of the systems that you mostly just roleplay through, like internal politics and cultural struggles and stuff like that, and like I haven't had streaming or online or offline. I haven't had a planet have unrest in a noticeable amount. I haven't had a planet revolt since like a month after the game came out, which is unfortunate because that adds a lot of fun, flavor, and variety. So it's amazing to me that we hadn't met the Nausicaans until now. Granted that we knew everyone around them, but apparently nobody knows about Nausicaa. Thank you for the influence. I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing I always do, communications information. Would you do research? No, you wouldn't do research. Of course not. Do this. You're gonna tell me about nobody. Pirates. Okay, at least you're not that far away. Cool. Dope.
Technology discovered.
Cordrazine. Our medical research has led to the invention of a strong chemical stimulant that, when used in the correct dosage, can raise comatose patients or restore injured people to health. Can raise comatose patients. Is it really called raising when you revive someone from a comatose state? Raise just makes me think like raise undead. Deep space dry dock. With the expansion of the fleet, the need for more facilities to repair and refit ships is becoming more prevalent. Yeah, damn right. Starbase upkeep and capacity. That one I heard, but let's just go for mining networks right now. Earth. This is Starbase 1. Yeah, I fucked this up. Right? Right? Shipyard. Energy relay. Oh, we haven't gotten the, Mars building that adds the sweet shipyards yet. Okay, never mind.
Construction complete. Survey complete.
Go ahead and research that. Survey that, my dude.
Survey complete.
Okay, you're surveying that. This has some angry boys in it, so let's just have you move up here, and we'll have you survey whatever.
Complete. Our presence in the galaxy has
Solarians. New phone, who dis? Oh, you're right next to the, you're right here. Yeah. Okay, yep, hello. You don't like us very much. You have no new information for me, which is cool. There's a... You typically hit a, I want to say watershed moment, but I'm trying to come up with a more creative way to say it. When you just share information and communications with everyone, you start rolling once you find whoever is in here. You learn about this, and this, and this, and this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and then you end up finding everyone, and you end up having way more influence than you can possibly use, unless you have so many survey ships. This is a crazy amount of minerals. Really, both of these have a crazy amount of minerals. God damn. I mean, it's not like we're lacking for minerals. It's just not bad. Ancient life pod. Society's always okay. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to keep surveying in this direction. I would like to meet up with the Binars over here. I'd like to be able to cut off further Cardassian expansion or Ferengi expansion, stop the Breen from coming into this area as well. So it's okay. Yeah, you can keep doing that.
Hostile fleet encountered. Station under attack. Construction complete. Technology discovered.
Yeah, well, this is gonna take a while.
Evading hostiles.
They're on their way. Graviton manipulation technology has matured to the point that large fields of gravitons can be generated and controlled for sustained periods of time. If a ship can be enveloped in a layer of gravitons, it should provide limited protection against a range of harmful natural phenomena and weapons fire. I'm not going to use it. This please. 10,000 energy storage capacity more than doubles how much I can have on hand. Mining, research, observation post. Cool. Cool. Just go ahead. Do that. And that. Okay. I still know generally this all needs
Construction complete.
speed bonus. Oh, for years, engineers have worked on improvements to the NX class of starship pioneered by the USS Enterprise. These enhancements include components sourced from other Federation member worlds, with particularly large contributions from the Andorian. From Andor, or the Andorians, or not the Andorian, okay, whatever. If the Enterprise returns to Earth, work on the upgrades can begin immediately. Dope. Well, you know, soon, I guess, but got some pirates to deal with right now. cute little triangle ships. Yeah, we're gonna phase these out once we get access to cruisers, and I stop feeling like I need to be constantly expanding in every direction. I have no idea what's going on over in the Delta Quadrant. The Gamma Quadrant, the Dominion doesn't tend to expand very effectively, so I'm not really worried about that. But the Borg have a lot of baked-in bullshit that make them very, very terrifying, even if you're doing well. So naturally, I'm reserving a healthy amount of fear. And trying to play this, like,
Mining station
vaguely in universe or in theme means I can't just ethic flip to
construction complete.
Militarist or authoritarian and just start conquering shit. That's never been a fun way for me to play Stellaris. Like, the combat isn't a challenge. The AI isn't smart enough to really be a challenge. The only time fighting the AI feels rewarding is when the odds are heavily stacked against you in really bullshit asynchronous, or not asynchronous, not balanced ways. Like the Fallen Empires, or the Endgame Crises, or the fucking stupid Marauders. That's the only time it feels rewarding, but it's not because it's actually rewarding, it's just because you overcame bullshit. Now, normally I like to go for the cheapest tech possible, just because when your strength is measured against another empire's, the amount of technologies you have are more important than the specific technologies you have. But I'm gonna go for internal security protocols because this piracy risk reduction is fucking nuts. Oh, yeah, just go ahead and take that out, I guess. Oh, right, I told you to go to Altair, not to take that out. Well, you know.
Engaging enemy
That's
station.
Okay. I feel like the Federation can't be a good performance feature, because playing as the United Federation of Planets, you have a bunch of tiny little vassals all over the place, and each vassal has their own research, their own worlds, their own resources that they're managing, their own fleets that they're managing, and their own diplomatic relations that they're sort of managing. It doesn't... That can't be good for performance. I like it, but it can't be good. Gouge mining. Intrusive surface mining is extremely useful in the acquisition of archivite and other minerals. Let's get system defense perimeter, which is a thing I'll never use. Well, I may use, but probably not.
Construction complete.
Boom. Yay, get a tiny amount of minerals and energy. Fantastic. Oh, you know, I've been a stupid man. It's important for me to remember, anytime I build a starbase, and I go to assign the construction ship to go build shit in that system, it's much more important to upgrade the starbase with a traffic control center, so I don't have to go through every single system later on in the game to figure out which have traffic control and which don't. That subspace speed bonus, or sublight speed bonus, is pretty helpful. This is enough micro that it makes me wish that you could just set up, in the same way that you can design ships or design defense platforms, I wish that we could design stations. Like, okay, slot 1 is always traffic control. I don't care what it is, I don't care what else it does, it's always traffic control. And then after that, you know, if there is a colonized planet, build this. If there are no colonizable planets, build this. Because a lot of my decision-making process, and I imagine the decision-making process for a lot of people who play Stellaris does come down to a lot of if this then this logic. Like, oh, okay, if I can colonize the system, then I'm going to want to maybe have hydroponics in the system if I'm really bad at managing food, or more than likely, if I'm running with this mod, I'm going to want to be rocking a whole bunch of trade depots because it's just free money, etc., etc. Oh god, I built this out on the edge of the system? There must have been a good reason for this. I'm hoping there was a good reason for that. It looks quite ugly. You're doing traffic control. Dope. I guess I can unpause. I think I've gotten everything in here now. Oh, Tholians have opened their borders. You what? Oh, because I have a charismatic ruler. Okay, fair enough.
Construction complete.
Dope. Alright, so, what was I just saying I needed to remember? When I build a new one of these, go in here, click this. Smart boy, Alex. Smart boy. Alright, Ross 154, let's go. Betazoid houses are gonna take another 3 of these until they're integrated. But we're not really in any rush. They're not going anywhere, they're not expanding, they're not being attacked. Once you get somebody in the Federation, the
construction
urgency
complete.
really dies off quite a bit.
Survey complete.
Yeah, that's quite pretty. I'm running more than just the New Horizons mod. I have a thinner border mod because otherwise the borders look fucking horrendous. I'm running the Beautiful Universe, which just
Construction complete.
more than anything changes the skyboxes to what you're seeing here.
Initiating communication.
And what you're seeing here, it changes up the skyboxes, make them prettier, more varied. Radiolian Consortium wants to be in a migratory treaty? Yeah, sure. Would you like to join my coalition? No. You don't like the Trill. Okay. That's fine. Dick. That's fine. Why don't we have you go rebuild what was lost?
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's all in progress. Hey, wouldn't you like to be enlightened? Hey, wouldn't you like to be enlightened? And you, enlightenment, huh? How about that? Our energy expenditure just got hit kinda hard by that, but that's okay. We don't need it. Not that badly, anyway. So that'll give us access to... Oh, the Sona. Not really useful to have them on our border. Not at all. The Akamar, I think, would join the Federation if we close up our border with them, so I'm tempted to do that. But really, I'm not super interested in expanding into this area. It's here, but I want to shore up this and this first. I'd rather have a very round power base than a very oblong power base. The new expansion for Stellaris looks okay. Like, it adds a bunch of new content in form of new survey events and stuff like that, which is cool and really missing. They have a few new, like,
survey complete.
Jump systems that are far away and have more Leviathan type stuff, which the Leviathans are cool, but they don't... Paradox is kind of bad about this.
Technology discovered.
They add flashy new things, which are kind of, on its own, neat and cool, and a cool idea, or fascinating, or nuanced. But they don't go back and revise old work, because that's not a good business model. You can't make a future expansion pack contingent on a previous expansion pack, because that makes people less likely to buy the new one because they feel like they have to buy the old one, and it's a bigger price, and even if they do end up buying both, they will typically do so separately. It makes sense, but it makes it so that fucking Crusader Kings takes how many years to finally address the not so great Crusade system, and Stellaris is probably gonna wait a while until we get anything as substantial as 2.0 again. Personally, I just would like to see them hunker down and focus on fixing systems that are noticeably broken. And they did that with 2.0, so that's garnered some goodwill, but I'm very burnt out on EU4. There's nothing new being added by all these stupid immersion packs. Like, I want refinement and addition, not just like, now you can play as Great Britain. More fun. Like, great. I have no interest in playing Great Britain ever again. Like, 2 times is enough. Add more historical events, add more political nuance, interactions between religions within a single society, draw out the Reformation or religious conversion so you actually interact with like the population. That's more Victoria 2 style stuff. Better yet, make Victoria 3. But they're never going to do that. I don't mean to whine, but when you play thousands of hours of something, you start to get pretty strong opinions on it.
Technology discovered.
Start to. Alright, god damn it, I keep clicking through this. Field modulation. Many energy fields require proper calibration and modulation. This technology allows us to better control field emitters, to not interfere with their counterparts, and to compensate for underperforming units. That is... I love how dry and uninteresting so much of the descriptor text is for stuff in this mod. Like, ah, yes, that's very boring. Excellent. Yeah. So the fleet's gonna go back to Earth, actually, so we can upgrade the Enterprise. Trade embargo against the Sona, so we ended up wrapping this up. Again, first thing, go in here, do the traffic control. Construction ship, give me mining, give me research. This isn't a great system, but we're starting to look okay.
Construction complete.
That is a lot of traffic control stations. Okay, yeah. Arcturus. Yeah, okay. Let's just go back and survey stuff closer. I don't have enough construction ships, and my influence income isn't high enough to maintain this level of expansion forever, which is unfortunate.
Survey complete.
Mechanically, Stellaris works a lot like EU4 in that you have basically ruler points. This is basically admin points now, influence, because to colonize a system or build a starbase you need influence, to take the system you need influence. So this is this game's admin, which is okay, but sometimes this game can feel way too much like EU4 with a space skin slapped on top of it. They've gotten away from that, but early on particularly the game really had that feeling. Like, oh, I just put all these ships in a Doomstack and build these specific kinds because they'll always beat everything else, and derpa derpa derpa. I don't know. Stellaris particularly bothers me because of how dedicated the modding community is, and how many things have been fixed by mods that would be very easy to integrate into the game itself. Like, okay, I have pretty strong opinions on making more realistic star systems, right? Because I have a mod that works on that, and I think that Real Space is a piece of shit because they do stuff like put Amathia inside of Jupiter, and these orbits aren't great, and the relative size of planets to the distance apart from each other is garbage. But this is still miles better than what vanilla Stellaris does. I like to think that my mod is about as good as you can get to real-world scale within the engine constraints, and without bugging gameplay too much. But I don't know. Like, a lot of the very early on, fleet combat looked awful. So a couple of modders made some really good mods that were improved fleet combat, improved Stellaris, improved combat. I forget the name of the original mod, but it was more or less just completely integrated into Stellaris proper after a while, which is great. I think that's a really good thing for the modding community, for the actual game to slowly incorporate projects made by modders if they're vetted as being of a proper quality, of staying within theme or design constraints or whatever else. And it'd be nice if the modders were, say, compensated, but they aren't necessarily obligated to that. It would just be cool, rather than like, oh yeah, we know it's a problem, but there are mods that fix it. Like, that's not a good attitude. What do I want? Defense or construction? Construction, I believe, gives us the orbital shipyards, which is dope. Slow boys. Sylvian Embassy, Soleil Clutches.
Construction
Doesn't
complete.
affect me.
The Empire won't fall to those vermin.
Yeah, okay. Yep, upgrade the Enterprise. Make it marginally better. Try that again. Okay, you're done here. Done here. Mirrodin or Beta Pictoris? Is this? Yeah. This is technically adjacent.
Construction
Adjacent to me. Adjacent to me. The Pegasi. Da, 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 da. I think the thing that I like the most about this mod is just playing it offline. The immersion of it. I like the Star Trek feel when I've been playing this on my own. I've been having Netflix open on my second monitor, having Deep Space Nine running. Now I'm on to Voyager.
Discovered.
Gotta say, Voyager's not as good as DS9, which I know most people don't like Deep Space Nine the most, but might be the best. Starbase torpedo pylons. Like most weapons, torpedo launchers have a limited firing arc. While fine for starships, starbases cannot maneuver to bring their weapons to bear. Traditionally, this is overcome with a weapons grid spanning the starbase's hull, but this wastes a lot of power. It's possible to design pylons which stick out from the station, allowing a smaller number of launchers to cover a wider area. Dope. Sub-impulse perilithium thrusters.
Construction complete.
Hello, Denobula. Do you have any research I don't have? You do. Damn, alright. And I have many you don't have. Excellent. Vega didn't finish? What? Did I colonize Vega? No, I didn't. The, Tellarites colonized this before I integrated them. I realized that, yeah, it's been a while since I played through and started this campaign, but the way that I formed the Federation was actually kind of subpar. You wait to form the Federation right before the Xindi crisis fires, then you form the Federation, but you don't research things until you're, like, right up against the timer about to run out on the researching the probe or picking an admiral. That buys you, like, 5 or 6 years in which all of the 2B Federation members, the Andorians, the Vulcans, and the Tellarites, are just expanding normally, just like you are. So when you finally form the Federation at the end of the Xindi crisis, you have a really big empire that you inherit. But if you do it early on, like I did, you don't benefit from that as much. After 3 months in dry dock, the Enterprise has been equipped with the best systems and technologies the United Federations of Planets can provide. Most of our systems are prototypes that remain unavailable to the rest of the fleet for now. So what do we got here? You have optical computers, stealth thrusters, you have skirmisher AI, engineering console, decent warp engines, basic shields, ceramic hull, Andorian phasers, okay. Sure. photon torpedoes, emergency force fields, a lot of emergency force fields. Hot damn. EPS manifolds, inertial dampeners. I don't actually think this is that good. I think I can make a better Enterprise. Granted, I can't make cruisers yet, but if I could, by gum, we can have a new starbase. Who wants a new starbase? We don't have any more colonized systems. Good. Why don't I go to the expansion planner, sort by size. This I'll end up colonizing. DX Cansri, you already have a starbase. Fine. Sigma Draconis 2, do you? You do. Damn. Altair, do you? No, but you're not even colonized yet. Zeta Hercules, you're not in our system yet. Sigma Draconis. Already said that. Epsilon Eridani, just fucking Tau Ceti. Upgrade. There we go.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
Alright, construction complete, construction complete. You are bringing Altair into here. If I had been that much more patient, I would then upgrade this, but that's okay. Just give me traffic control. Alpha Vernacus? Sure. That's a believable pronunciation. Build me a starbase over there. USS Earhart, go ahead and survey this. Again, the Romulans haven't really expanded at all in this time. The Husnak have a little bit, the Suliban have a little bit. There was a gap in here earlier that's no longer here. The Klingons don't look like they've expanded any. The Orions have a little bit, but they're starting to run up into systems like this that make it difficult for them to expand. Yeah. This mod offsets the onset of the mid-game by a long time. I don't mind. Normally in Stellaris you start bumping up against each other's borders very early on, but in New Horizons it takes a while for all of these systems to get claimed. 0G, the ability to achieve weightlessness. By applying our understanding of gravity, we can create a new module to our starbases that replicates this scientific marvel. In doing so, we're able to allow further study on chemicals and materials within an environment that can never have been done until now. If perfected, this will lead to sizable increases in the scope of what we can research. Yeah, it gives a lot of research for only 4 energy. 4 energy might actually be a lot for that, but still pretty good. We could expand our naval capacity again, might be worth it, but I'm gonna go for Natural Resort or Guild of Entertainment Directors, because it's cheaper to research. Is this going to be a facility? Yeah, orbital science centers will be facilities. Cool. Can build a number of those.
Anomaly detected.
This rivalry against me? Nope, don't care. Skin of Evil. Shuttlecraft exploring Gamma Serpentis 3 has crashed. Since readings are unclear, but there appears to be something moving near the crash site. Is this always here?
Complete.
I think this is always here. I can't remember. Bad man. Bad fanboy. How much stuff?
Construction complete. Survey complete.
Review Beta Zoid houses ascension. Just keep that train slowly rolling. Why don't we go for Gamma Pavonis? Because isn't somebody else going yet?
Initiating communications.
Who dis? Yes. Skin of Evil. Captain Bridget Biggs leads an away team to investigate the mysterious crash of the USS Pythias's shuttlecraft on Gamma Serpentis 3, a promising colonization candidate. Yeah, it's size 18. It's promising. As the away team searches the crash site, a crewman discovers a strange black liquid, which slowly reforms itself into the shape of a humanoid body. It's blocking the way to the shuttlecraft's crash site and the missing pilot. We greet you in the name of the Federation of Planets. What are you? You sound like those I once merged with, says the being in a contemplating tone. They claimed to come in peace too. They talked about enlightenment and goodness, but they left everything else here. The garbage, the grudges, the hatred. It stayed within me. The being identifies itself as Armis. What at first appears to be dangerous, Captain Bridget Biggs now sees a measure of sadness about it. This is a bad option. I don't know what this option is. If this ends well, this is the correct option. Without sadness, there's no context to happiness. Maybe, Armis replies. Maybe I just want to reconnect with those who have made me. Will you help me leave this place so I can finally find them? No, we need our ships, which won't end well, or take the shuttle but leave the pilot here. Thank you, it gives me hope, Armis says, and moves aside. The team's away team field medic rushes to the injured pilot and begins to treat her wounds. Man, if only, then one of the best characters in that fucking series, Tasha Yar, would have stayed alive, but whatever. A few moments later, the being waves to the captain and enters the shuttlecraft, taking off shortly after. Further scans show the Armis was unique. There are no other beings on the planet. It is declared safe for colonization. There's a function in here that calls for the name of the planet that's not finding the name of the planet. Excellent. Good society research. The planet doesn't become uninhabitable.
Construction complete.
Dope. Oh, and that takes us to the end of the first hour. I'm gonna keep streaming, but I like to cut these up in hour-long segments. So hey, it's April 1st, 2186. If you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna have to stop by again tomorrow for some more of this. In the meantime, make sure to comment, share, like, subscribe, click the fucking bell button because there aren't enough ways to interact with the page, right? In the meantime, I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.